Dear students, good morning. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 8th September 2017. The first article, US backs sale of fighters to India. US has agreed to sell F-16 and F-18 jets to India. Still, India hasn't made any decision on to this. What made US to go for this decision? One is a strategic dimension. US now sees India as a net security provider in Asia Pacific. Now to be specific, it is Indo-Pacific. And second thing is India has a positive trade deficit with regard to the United States of America. So it means that USA has to reduce its trade deficit by selling this strategic equipment to India. That is what is the second aim stated by Mr. Trump. There is a small irritant over here. United States do not want to relocate the facilities, but under Make in India, India is buying the jets from only the companies that relocate to India and increase the jobs over here. So that's why we have to see how this particular decision is going to go forward. And the second is death for two in Mumbai blast case. The judgment has come up after 23 years. Justice denied if it is delayed. Obviously, again, Abu Salim being given a life sentence has international ramifications too. As he has been deported from Portugal, government of India has made certain agreements with the country. So, it has been stated that by giving him a life sentence, it is going against the agreement with Portugal. Let's come to the editorial page. Social revolution in JAM. JAM, that is Janadhan Aadhar and mobile payments. Is it going to create a social revolution through financial inclusion in India? Let me explain something about this. In Brazil, there was a program called Bolsa Familia. It is called Conditional Cash Transfer Program, which was highly successful and many countries have imitated. And a technological version of the same is the JAM Trinity. Opening the bank accounts, transferring the welfare benefits directly to the bank accounts, identifying the beneficiaries based on data which is available with the government, and streamlining the payments to them. All these are the objectives of the JAM Trinity. This word was coined by Mr. Aravind Subramanian, economic advisor to the finance minister. So in these circumstances, is JAM Trinity is going to bring in economic inclusion and social revolution. Here we have to differentiate between financial inclusion and economic inclusion. So financial inclusion means giving access to the financial benefits to the poor and marginalized. So JAM Trinity is majorly providing for the financial access and financial benefits with little leakages. But economic inclusion, it is based on building the human capabilities and opportunities for the people. So first build the human capabilities and give them the necessary opportunities through the economy so that these capabilities can be put into use. Now let's understand what Amartya Sen has said about the human development. So in this idea of justice, he spoke about capabilities and functionings. So we have to build the capabilities of an individual so that he can acquire the functionings which he values for. It means the functionings vary from one individual to the other individual. Unless you give him the capabilities, he cannot take what he values for. So the basic thing which is necessary for human development then will be health and education. So universalization of health and education is critical for the economic inclusion. So here, Amartya Sen has again stated that across the world, either it is left or right, government played an important role in universalization of health and education. In India, the same objective is tried to be achieved through privatization. So it means that privatization may not be the right route to achieve this. So government has to spend on this capability building of the people in the country. And the next is creation of opportunities. They can only be created when infrastructure, public services are available. So in India, these are in a dismal state. Government on the other side is focusing on ease of doing business. Along with that, with core infrastructure not being in place, getting these opportunities, creating the opportunities are not possible. So employment generation, if you see, to the stated 2 crore jobs, only 15 lakh jobs are being created till date. That clearly shows some failure of the government. If social revolution has to come up in the country, so building the human capabilities and raising the opportunities for everyone in the country through and thereby bringing in economic inclusion is very critical. That is the essence of this article. Now, beyond this article, if you go, can JAM Trinity bring in economic inclusion? To an extent, yes. JAM Trinity provides for access to the financial services, which provides for the necessary capital for the individuals for self-employment. Again, if self-employment has to come, we have to focus upon capabilities of the people. So, opportunities can be created through access to financial services. These opportunities will die, or these opportunities will not be fruitful unless we nurture the human capabilities. That's why the core of the question again comes to health and education improvement in the country. All that Gauri Lankesh stood for. So, killing of the Gauri Lankesh is killing of an idea she stands for. Gauri Lankesh has revived a progressive tradition in Karnataka, and she also has continued the ideas and ideologies of her father. So, many of them have branded her as a leftist. She is a leftist in a different sense. If pro-poorness, egalitarianism is what the left is working for, she is definitely a leftist. And second thing is, Miss Gauri Lankesh, she advocated for a secular tradition which is rooted in our culture. And she also has spoken about an inclusive society which is casteless and also where everyone can get the benefits from the system which is there in place. So, this idea of inclusiveness was killed. And second, she is also a rationalist. Development of scientific temper is one of the fundamental duties in our constitution and is a stated goal. So, as a rationalist, she tried to do the same. She fought against the beliefs which are there in the society. So, killing of Miss Gauri Lankesh is killing of an idea which is based in our constitution, that is secular values and also a scientific temper. That's what Mr. Yogendra Yadav talks about. The next article is Vigil on Vigilantes. Yesterday, Supreme Court has directed the state governments to appoint nodal officers to prevent cow vigilantism. It also has advised the central government to take responsibility by advising the states, directing the states under Article 256 of the Constitution. Here, more than this, something has to be done. One is sensitizing the police, changing the laws. In states like Rajasthan, there are laws which are protecting the co-vigilantes, stating that if they work in good faith to protect the animals, they do not be punished or they get the immunity from the law. So these laws need to be revisited. And sensitization of the police and the establishment to the victims is also very much important. The next super cycle. So, last 3 years are very bad for the commodities. There is a free fall of the commodity prices. It has shook the economies of Brazil, Venezuela, etc. So, if you take Brazil, even their bonds are rated as scrap. In Venezuela, fall in oil prices have devastated the economy. So, the fall in demand is slowly getting reversed. Development of infrastructure in China and revival of the global growth is slowly increasing the prices. So in this context, the drop in dollar value is also a reason. But however, oil prices are an exception. It is due to the shale gas revolution that is happening in the United States of America. So that's why a next demand cycle is going to come up. So it is also an important lesson for India for the reason that once the commodity prices increase, obviously inflation is going to take a different turn in this particular country. Is demonetization a proven failure? How can we say something as a failure or a success? It is based on its stated goals or objectives. They are the touchstone to evaluate a policy. In this context, what are the stated values of demonetization? The first and foremost is to fight the black money. So it is based on a presumption that most of the black economy is in the form of black cash, but only 6% on optimistic side is in the form of black cash. Second thing is, most of the money which is possessed in the hands of the people cannot be stated to be illegal and unaccounted for. So in this context, the very stated objective is not based on a sound and valid principle. And then, is the demonetization is the right way to take away the black money? There are many other ways. Tax reforms are an important way. And real estate sector regulation, all these can be tried out. The demonetization has costed the economy very high, and it appears to be a decision which is not based on a reason. And second thing is, RBI's institutional credibility has got worst hit because of the demonetization. And there is a goalpost shifting from time to time in the stated objectives by the government. It clearly shows lack of loss of confidence for the government on the act of demonetization. Now, government states that it has got the sufficient information to act from the income tax authorities, but the capabilities of income tax are very less to tackle these many accounts. Most of the money has been come through Jandan Yojana, Jandan accounts which are held by the poor people. In this scenario, remember this: balancing good economics with good politics is always not possible. So if IT authorities goes after this poor, probably it lead to a bad politic. And second point over here is this: the cashless economy or less cash economy, which has started appearing in the early days of demonetization, has completely reversed now. And the fake currency, fighting terrorism, these are very minor objectives when compared to the other things. But the economy was beaten and the loss of growth is remarkable. One of the stated reasons is demonetization. For a robust data protection regime, here, this is a very important topic and we can expect a question on this year. This topic is related to e-governance. As right to privacy judgment is given by the Supreme Court, data protection law is very much in discussion. And in this case, there are two committees we have to remember. One is Shah Commission and the next is Mr. Sri Krishna Committee. In this case, Shah Commission has said, so every person to be clearly informed and for the purpose what data is taken, and it shall not be used beyond the purpose stated for. And second is, data has to be collected to the extent it is necessary for the purpose, not more than that. So these are the two stated objectives provided by Shah Commission. In this context, Sri Krishna Committee is focusing on technological neutrality and interoperability. It means that having a common data protection framework across different agencies. And second, horizontal application across the state and non-state actors, and international standards with regard to the protection of privacy. These are various things which it is talking about. Now, data and project delays worry Bhutan. So, India has taken up 3 hydroelectric power projects. Out of this, 30% is a grant, 70% is loan, on which 10% is the interest rate per annum. So, as the projects are delayed, the interest burden on Bhutan is increasing. These projects are supposed to be implemented by NHPC, National Hydroelectric Power Corporation, and this delay in projects is worrying Bhutan. PM caps Myanmar trip with visit to Bahadur Shah's grave. You know, after 1857 revolt, Bahadur Shah Jafar, then Mughal emperor, he was exiled to Myanmar and he died over there. Prime Minister Modi made a visit to this place and also Shwedagaon Pagoda, which is most important Buddhist site. So this is about cultural visit of Prime Minister to Myanmar. Now, in the last page, I gave you the notes and it will be available to you at laix.in/civils prep. And if you are not getting the notes over there, the number to contact is 9052692929. Thank you very much and all the best.